Founded in 1998, Taiwan International Documentary Festival, or TIDF, is one of the major film festivals for documentaries in Asia, always looking for documentaries that are creative, relevant to social and human interest, and have unique points of view. This year, TIDF will last from the 1st of May till the 10th. Stay tuned to find out more about the festival this year. Hey, come on! The screening is about to begin! This is Cinematic Motif. Alright, so welcome back to Cinematic Motif. I'm Wanson. Today, I'm once again joined by a guest who was here 2 years ago. I'm not sure if you still remember her. So her name is Pei-hua. She's from the Taiwan International Documentary Festival. Welcome!
Hi, Wanson. Hi, listeners. Great to be back again.
Yes, it's nice to see you again. So you are one of the festival programmers, which means you coordinate and you pick the films that are going to be screened in this festival, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, let's start with the ultimate question. We always ask this one. Can you tell us briefly about this Taiwan International Documentary Film Festival? What is it all about?
So TIDF is a documentary festival focusing on bringing the diversity of documentary cinema. Because for us, documentary is not only about information, it's also about many different ways of engaging with reality. TIDF is a festival showing great movies, great documentaries, but at the same time, we hope to expand what documentary could be.
Yes, always experimenting and telling us what documentary can be. I want to add a little information. It's a 2-year festival, like it's a biennial festival.
Yeah, it is a biennial festival.
Yeah, so it's coming back again this month. Yes.
I can't believe it's been 2 years.
Yes, we've been old. We're getting older. So you've been talking about telling us what documentary can be. And this year, you've got a really huge, innovative thing happening, which is your opening film. And it's not a film. It's an opening performance. This is a really, really bold move. So what made you decide to, challenge the audience with this new sort of opening performance?
Yeah, I'm glad that someone noticed that. Yes, for us, this decision was very intentional. So it's not about trying to be cool, trying to be different. It's about finding the right form to share the ideas that we want to express this year. Because one of the key focuses this year is on archives. Yeah, and especially in Palestinian context, where images and archives were missing and taken, and their history was contested. So this idea of absence become very central to our program. But how can one present absence as a cinema form? So we are trying to think about the right form to deliver this message. And we had this opportunity to join this lecture performance by this Palestinian filmmaker. And he kind of used the idea of absence as a source, a starting point to create new images and create new ways of thinking. So we think it would be great to open the festival with this performance to highlight the core idea we are presenting this year.
Of course, I haven't seen the performance itself, but I can imagine. It's a performance with a lecture without visual on the screen, right?
It's actually combining some visual elements.
Okay.
But also combining some like dramatic components. So you can imagine
like a theater.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I believe it would be a very different viewing experience for the audience, and it's for free.
Yeah, okay, that's really nice. It's for free. So
it's for free.
If you're listening right now and you live in Taiwan, do go to their website right now
to check it out.
Opening performance. So you talked about that this performance is part of the focus program this year, which is the program about Palestine and its archiveless archive.
Yeah,
you don't have
very confusing title.
Yeah, so we know that Palestinians have been forced to displace from their homeland for, I think, about a century or even more than a century. NABCA. NABCA, something that
in 1948.
About a century. why did you pick Palestine as the focus program this year? Is it related to something happening in the world right now, especially, with the escalating tension between Israel and Palestine right now?
Yeah, definitely it's relevant to the ongoing situation. Because in recent years, we saw a lot of documentary festival trying to respond directly to the ongoing situation. But from a programmer's perspective, of course, we want to approach the situation through the questions about images and the cinema.
Yeah.
And especially how the situation is relevant to the Taiwanese audience. So we began to do some research, and we found that there was a very crucial moment for Palestinian cinema history in 1982 when the Lebanon War erupted. Because before that, there were a bunch of displaced Palestinian filmmakers moved to Lebanon and trying to create this archive about the old films and images, stories about Palestinian people.
Yeah.
But after the invasion in 1982, these archival materials went missing or taken, and their whereabouts was unclear for a very long time.
Yeah.
So it becomes a very important event in their history, like a cinematic wise. It also became a starting point for us to curate this program. And also, I think this event is connected closely to TIDF's institutional context. Because the festival is hosted by
the Taiwan Film and Audio
Visual Institute. It's okay. It's another confusing title.
Anyway, it's related to the archive of Taiwanese, film. Of course, our archive.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Basically, we are the archive of Taiwan cinema. So knowing about this invasion and what's going on after that make us to think about, first, how can you archive images without an institutional archive?
Yeah.
And the second, how can we preserve memories and histories and images if the images and the films are not accessible anymore? So this thought become the very important foundation for us to develop this program.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. And I didn't think of that connection between the TF AI, the hosting institution of TIDF. And it's all about archive.
Exactly. So that's why we choose to approach the whole situation with
the archive and the absence of archive.
Exactly.
The archiveless situation.
I hope the explanation will help you understand why archiveless archive.
Yeah. And most importantly, what do you wish the Taiwanese audience would take away from this archiveless program? And especially with even meeting the filmmakers who came to Taiwan, have they arrived to Taiwan?
Haven't. Welcome to Taiwan.
Yes. Yeah. And how would you like the audience here to try to relate to these things?
I really hope this program can encourage the audience to rethink about the relationship between images, cinema, and history and memories and identity.
These are all things Taiwanese people are always thinking about, the forming identity.
These ideas can resonate to audience in Taiwan.
The missing history.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
And also this program raised questions about who has a right to interpret these images, whose version of stories will be remembered, and whose version will be left out. Right. And I think these are questions speak to Taiwanese people. Because the questions about recognition and representation are real here in Taiwan. So I really hope that the Taiwanese audience can find some connections with the films that we are showing this year.
So since you've spoken about Taiwan, this year you've got a special project coming up, which is about Green Team. So Green Team, they've been here in Taiwan since 40 years ago.
Exactly.
Yes, and they were also once the TIDF Outstanding Contribution Award winner. So for anyone who knows about Green Team, 绿色小组, it's a really important part of Taiwanese film history, especially how Taiwanese documentary is correlated to social movements, especially with the environmentalism. So this year you've got a one-day forum and even some free online screenings. Could you please tell us a little bit about why did you ask Green Team to be back here again?
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked about Green Team after our discussion about archives.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Green Team can be a great example of how archival films can gain new meanings over time. Yeah. So actually 10 years ago, when Green Team had their 13th anniversary, we host a retrospective of them, and we subtitle a selection of their works and help them to come back to the circulation. And the feedback was great. So after 10 years, we've noticed that the new audience, especially the younger generation, they are eager to watch these films too. And especially they want to know more about the social movement in Taiwan in the 1980s through these films. Yeah, we think maybe it's time to show these films again for a different group of audience. Because maybe some of them, like 10 years ago, they were like babies.
Yes.
So we think it's good to bring them back, but this time in a different way of exhibition. Like we are doing an online exhibition, and the online screening will be free, and for 2 months. Like after the festival, starting from May 20 to July 20.
Yeah, so you don't have to rush to the theater.
No.
You just stay at home and enjoy these archives from 40 years ago.
Exactly.
From 30 to 40 years ago.
Yeah. We hope it will create like this access to more audiences.
Yeah, and that's definitely one of the most important missions for TFAI.
Yeah. I'm sorry about the confusion between TIDF and TFAI.
But anyway, TFAI hosts the TIDF. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, let's move on to one of the most important parts of our show today. This year's TIDF, of course, you've got a lot of different programs. You've got a program on Canadian documentaries, a program on sensory ethnography lab. That's something totally new for me. And even Taiwanese history, like Green Team.
Yeah.
So which of these are you personally most excited about as a programmer?
Yeah, sure. It feels like we are so greedy, like trying to bring so many different things to our audience.
You know, it's been 2 years.
I know, yeah. So for me, I'll definitely recommend the program of the Sensory Ethnography Lab. Yeah, because I think it offers a very unique viewing experiences. Yeah, because they are not trying to explain reality, but they are trying to invite the audiences to experience, to sense reality through images and sound and duration. Yeah. And this lab was founded in Harvard University. So some people might think that it must be very academic and very boring. But actually their words are very immersive and engaging. Yeah. For example, there is one film in this program. It has almost no images. Okay.
It's only about opening up your senses.
Yeah. So
to feel something, sense something.
Exactly. And you will watch a documentary through your ears. Yeah. And sense and to go to this space, very different space, like through listening to the sound. I would say it's a very special experience that I will encourage the audience, the listeners, to give it a try.
Yeah, I was watching the trailer for this program and I thought, wow, this was something totally related to radio.
Exactly.
It's always about sound effects, like the sound, what you can hear, right?
Yeah, you're so right about that.
Yes.
We actually hosted an event called Listening Session. So it's like a radio, but happening in cinema.
Yeah.
So what's the differences by listening to cinematic motif at home and listening to this session at cinema? I will definitely
highly recommend our listeners to try that out. If you love sound, if you love sound effects, this is something that you can definitely go to. Yeah, okay. And finally, as our tradition of the show, could you please recommend us 1 or 2 films for the film festival beginners, those who have never been to TIDF? What would you recommend as the starting point for them?
Okay, so I have 2 recommendations.
Yes.
Yeah. The first one is Kings and Extras.
Oh, okay.
Which is in the Palestinian archival section.
Yes.
Yeah, we've talked about. Yeah. So this film follows a filmmaker to search for the materials missing during the 1982 invasion. So it feels like a road movie with a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's very easy to follow, but you get to know the basic knowledge and ideas of what we've been talking about and know about the history through this film. So highly recommended. Yeah.
Kings and
Kings and Extras.
Kings and Extras.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my first recommendation. Yeah. And the second one is a Ukrainian documentary titled A Simple Soldier. Yeah. And this film begins with a documentary filmmaker who joined the army to document the war. But eventually, he himself became a soldier. Yeah. So he documented his own transformation.
Yeah.
And you can see how a war can reshape a man, reshape a person. It's very powerful, and I would say is definitely a film shows the power of documentary, the power of time. Yeah. And also it's very easy to follow and very emotional. So recommend to any first timer to TIDF. Yeah.
It's not something that it's difficult to watch. I know
Not at
sometimes
all.
documentaries can be difficult to watch.
I know.
Yeah, so your recommendations really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So finally, a big question. It's a grand question. I wanted to ask you 2 years ago, but I didn't have the time. Why are documentaries important to our societies nowadays? I know you've talked about, history and archive and things like that.
Yeah.
How can documentary help us?
It is indeed a big question. Yeah. But for me, I would say that documentary matters even more today, even though that we have so many different access to a wide range of information. Because documentary really give us time to spend time with the real people on screen.
Yeah.
And to give us time to engage with the others' reality.
Rethink the reality.
Yeah, rethink about the reality. Yeah. And I think that's very rare and precious opportunities for us who are living in this fast and divided society.
Yeah. And sometimes a society with false information and false facts.
Exactly. Like you have so many different kinds of information, but you are kind of confused and
hallucination and even reality. You cannot separate them sometimes.
Yeah. So for me personally, I learned a lot from watching these documentaries.
Yeah.
And I really hope to share this experience with more people, with the audience of TIDF.
All right. So Pei-hua, thank you so much for your time today, sharing all these things about the programs and even the ideas and concept behind the TIDF this year with us. Thank you so much for coming back again.
Thank you, Wanson, for having me again. And I hope I'll see you in 2 years. Maybe at least years TIDF and in 2 years.
Let's try that first, and then we'll see if 2 years later I'll still be here.
Yeah. I hopefully we will continue our conversation then.
Yes. And finally, the TIDF this year will be held from the May 1st. So if you're interested in these documentaries, they will be screened in multiple locations in Taipei, in Taipei Sport Huashan Theatre, TFAI, Taiwan Contemporary Culture Lab, and even other sites.
Also, this year we have a new venue, which is Xinguang Cinema in Ximending.
In Taipei City. Yes.
So very easily to get to. So don't miss the opportunity to explore the documentaries this year.
Yes. Okay. Tickets are on sale right now, actually.
Yeah,
by the
right
time
now.
that this episode is out. Yeah, so do go and check out TIDF's website. And thank you for tuning in today. I'm Wanson. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Wanson.